Yes, Mad Maxx Crosby and the Las Vegas Raiders may come to a split. It's the typical footsteps of a Las Vegas Raider. You're great, then you want to leave because we suck. What's new? This is a decision that it'll make every Raider fan question their loyalty to this fandom. Like, after the Khalil Mack trade, after the last rebuild, after trading a lot of our key players, it started to look like we're the Oakland A's of the NFL. And it started with Mad Maxx Crosby today. A report came out from Diana Rossini. Take it with a grain of salt. She gets more things that I see from her wrong than right. She is terrible at her job. I hope she sees this and hears that, because I tell her all the time. But hey, Mad Maxx, yes, he could get traded. The Raiders have a clear out, and he's 29 years old. It only makes sense. This all started because the Raiders suck. It's that simple. If the Raiders were good, none of this would matter. But we are so bad, we have forced Mad Maxx to sit out the rest of the regular season in order to tank. But he did have a knee problem lingering all season. He does need to get surgery, so there is some truth to that report. But why this trade would work for both sides? He's at his peak value still. He's still a top player at his position. Top 3. Peak value. And it would probably make sense for both sides, whoever comes to this deal with the Raiders. He's played the most snaps since entering the NFL. He had 53 pressures this year, top 20. The most run stops in the NFL at the edge position. Double teamed at a top 10%. Mad Maxx he's elite. He is so freaking good. He's a guy you have to watch him play DN because he makes plays that kill a drive. He will make a tackle for loss that you're like, how the hell is he that smart? How the heck did he make that play? Because Mad Maxx is one of those guys that's just so dialed into the sport. He loves the sport so much. He watches so much film. He has a tell for these linemen like it's nothing. He is one of the smarter players in the NFL, and that's how you see difference in players, is how much smarter they are than the other ones. But what would it take for the Raiders to move on for this deal? What have they tried to do? Why hasn't this worked? Why hasn't Mad Maxx had someone to work with in Vegas? How is the defense not a top 10 unit every season? Well, because they have failed to build around him whatsoever. They have tried. Trust me, they've tried. Tyree Wilson, top 10 pick, number 7 overall. Was a bad pick at the time. He is a bust and a half. Probably won't be on the team next year. 4 years and done. Talk about a bust. Christian Wilkins, one of the higher paid defensive tackles of all time. Who knows what the heck he did in the locker room to cause that? I don't even want to know. Yannick Ngakoue was fine for a year. He was never the answer. We knew that. And the saddest one was Malcolm Kuntz. In 2023, it looked like Malcolm Kuntz was going to be the guy next to Mad Maxx Crosby. And then the next offseason, he tears his ACL. It's like, damn. They've tried. They've really tried to build a good defensive line, a good defense. It just hasn't worked out. Like, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you try your hardest and it doesn't work. So you got to go again. But this time, they don't have the time to give Maxx Crosby another go, I believe. This is going to be a critical decision for the Las Vegas Raiders. You either keep him for the rest of his career, you pay him out, or you trade him this year and never speak about a trade again. You have to trade him this year if you're going to trade him. But that's my issue with this. The Raiders, they're not spending a lot of money. If you look at their cap space, if you take out Mad Maxx, they're bottom of the barrel by a good millions. They'd have to spend a lot of money to stay above the floor, which is crazy. Before I looked at the salary cap, I was like, dang, they really aren't paying anyone but Maxx Crosby. And a lot of people they are paying too, around 5 to 10 million, are going to be gone. Tyree Wilson, a lot of these linemen, Parham's going to be gone next year probably. So they'd be forced to spend in free agency, which, hey, that may not be a bad thing. I want them to splurge on the offensive line. I want Linderbaum. I want him to be the highest paid center. Elijah Vera Tucker's coming off an injury, but I don't give a damn. He was pretty freaking good before. But that being said, the Raiders have to spend money in free agency if they want to make this deal, no matter what. Because it would set them up in draft picks. But the talent, the defense, this would be the worst defense of all time on paper. On paper, it doesn't matter, but dude, and they may not even bring back Eric Stokes. That's the thing. The Raiders, if they trade Mad Max, they're still miles away, even if the offense becomes good. Because the defense would be so atrociously bad, they wouldn't be able to stop a fly. They'd be like the Cowboys this past year. Who could end up trading for Mad Max? I think there's a lot of teams that could end up trading for him. No one in the AFC West, because the Raiders would never be dumb enough to do that. But I could easily see the Eagles trading for him, the Cowboys trading for him, the Bears, the 49ers. If we're going to be honest, it's every single team that has a quarterback and wants to win now. This is the move as a GM that you say, let's get that edge rusher. We have our quarterback. We have our lines. We just need that cherry on top in Mad Maxx Crosby. And he will, wherever he goes, he's going to dominate. He's going to be a captain instantly. Mad Max is someone you want in your team's building. And that's why I honestly think the Raiders can't trade him. They can't. They can't. Unless it's for 2 firsts plus, I would never trade him. You can't trade a player like this. Can't. Especially for 1 first, maybe a third and a second. Dude, I'd laugh it off and just hang up the phone. In order for this deal to be done, it has to be 2 first-round picks. They have to push up a bidding war between all these teams. I get that he's 29 years old, but 1 first-round pick for a guy who's going to be, maybe not for 3 years, but at least 2 years of dominant edge performance, 1 first-rounder is a laughable offer. It has to be 2 first-round picks, and I'll call it a day. Even though he's 29, he needs to get extended. 1 first-round pick is nothing for Maxx Crosby. I don't want to see Mad Max get traded. I don't think any Raider fan wants to see Mad Max get traded. I think Mad Max wants to be a Raider for life. He literally has it tattooed on his body. And it would just overall put the Raiders in a horrible spot. It would kill the fan base. It's already, like, I'm thinking about it. I'm, like, getting depressed as I'm talking about him possibly getting traded. But also, you got to think about, as a fan, Spytek is smart. He's 29. 2 first-round picks is a lot. It's a very tough decision for the Las Vegas Raiders. It could lead them to the future of greatness. I highly doubt it. Or we'll just be just like the Khalil Mack trade and rebuild for absolutely nothing. What do you guys think the Raiders should do with Mad Max? Do you want your team to have Mad Max? That's not even a question. What team do you guys want to see Mad Max go to? I'm going to cry if he gets traded. And I'll catch y'all boys tomorrow.